ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Portland Board of Education podcast. We are live in the Connecticut Valley School of Music Dance podcast studio, and with us in the studio is our illustrious superintendent of schools, Dr. Charles Britton. Hi, Charles. How are you?
Dave, how we doing?
Oh, just keep pedaling. That's all we can do.
All we can do.
That's all we can do. This mild weather that we're experiencing. It's like summer. My God.
It's weird though, Dave. I'm not gonna lie. It's not right.
No, it isn't.
Right. Like our New England or circadian rhythms are like, I should be colder now, and why isn't there any rain? And
exactly, and it is dry.
It is dry.
It is dry. We very, very badly need rain.
Yeah, we gotta be careful, everybody.
Yes.
Careful.
Well, that was one of the things that Ryan touched on. We have the open burning ban in town.
Smart.
And so forth. So anyway, so tell us what's new in the district. Well, obviously we had the election Tuesday, so we have a new president. We have I think the issues in town were outweighed the presidential election. I don't know. What do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'll start with some good things. We just finished first quarter. Things are going great in the schools.
Yeah,
people are happy. We're looking at some really strong performance out of our students across the board. Academics, arts, athletics, they're doing great. Last night, I got to go to our Teacher of the Year induction ceremony at the Bushnell in Hartford.
Nice.
What a wonderful event to celebrate the amazing work that teachers do across the state. And Jenna Ford, our teacher here, was our Teacher of the Year, and I got to accompany her up on stage and heard the governor speak, and our Commissioner of Education was there. This year's State Teacher of the Year spoke. Just a great celebration of all teachers and the amazing work that educators do.
Very nice.
Tonight, I get to go to our National Honor Society Awards induction ceremony. So, we're hitting all of our benchmarks this year. Things are going great. Kids are happy.
Yeah.
Buses are running on time. Classes are going.
Hey.
SAT scores got released today. We're rolling merrily along. I think things are good. The community is strong. As far as the election, right? So, hey, in every election since 1788,
yep,
right? The day after the election, some people get up and celebrate.
Yeah.
And some people get up and are maybe disappointed.
Yes.
Right. And look, what do the people who are disappointed do?
Yeah.
You tip the hat.
Yeah.
What do the people who are celebrating do? Well, you be humble in victory and magnanimous in defeat, right?
There we go.
So it is what it is. We respect the democratic process. It is the best of all possible systems of governance.
Sure.
And that's part of what made January 6th the last time so horrible.
Yes.
Is that, look, man, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
Right.
When you lose, you tip your hat to the victors.
Yeah.
When you win, you be gracious to and understand the point of your neighbors.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you try to work together in pursuit of a more perfect union.
There we go.
That is what we do. And that is what we are going to continue to do now.
Sure.
Right? So, Donald Trump's success will be the success of our nation.
Sure.
That's the way it is. If
Yep.
Kamala Harris had won, I would say the same thing.
Yep.
We now stand together and we move forward.
That's it. That's it.
That's it. That's it. It's all you can do.
Yeah.
And within that, though, if policies or things come out that you don't agree with, you speak up. You be vocal.
Mm-hmm.
You exercise that freedom of speech, and you try to persuade people of your ideas, especially in the context of the next round of elections.
Sure.
Way it goes. Similarly, with our bonding referendum, it did not prevail. It is not something that I think anybody should be angry about or overly disappointed about. It is the will of the voters of town. This is Portland belongs to people who live in Portland.
Sure.
Right. It's always hard, of course, when you're aware of some of the vitriol or in the spirited exchange of ideas. Sometimes relationships are damaged.
Yeah.
That's never nice. It's never kind.
Right.
And of course, in a political season where tensions are high, right? Sometimes information isn't always communicated accurately.
Right.
That too is disappointing.
Right.
Especially when people are communicating information in a way to make their point and it's not accurate. There will be accusations of you're lying or you're hiding things from me.
Right.
Or you're being that's tough, right? what have we done? We've tried to be transparent and lay out the information.
Right,
So
right.
I want to start there.
Sure.
I would be not doing my job
Right.
if I didn't again remind everybody in Portland, you have a great school system,
Right.
amazing teachers,
Yeah.
high quality leaders,
Right.
fabulous, the best kids as far as I'm concerned in the state of Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a terrific school district. Your buildings need significant work.
Yes.
You have some buildings here, some portions of buildings that kids are learning in
Mm-hmm.
that were constructed in 1930s
Mm-hmm.
and are still being used.
Right.
It is what it is. I've shared the information about when these buildings were built,
Sure.
when capital improvements were made, when additions were put on. It's been over 30 years
Right.
since significant investments were made. And that's the timeline. Look, at every 30 years,
Yeah.
you got to fix your roof. You
Yeah.
got to replace your windows. You got to take out and get new insulation. Your boiler is going to go. Your electricity systems are outdated. Everybody knows this who owns homes.
Yeah.
It is no different for buildings. That something has to be done. And look, the nice thing is through this process, we've been able to develop a really detailed understanding of what those things are.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you.
Sure.
And I have a good sense of how much they cost at least 2 years ago,
Yeah.
right? Because that's the last time we did some of these analysis. And there are options. And I don't think, the thing that I love, and it's fair to say about this process, I don't think there's anyone in town that doesn't have the best interests of kids in mind.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anybody in town that would like to see our kids go to schools that fall down apart or fall apart around them.
Right.
Right. I think everybody understands. Our kids are our most precious resource, and they should be in buildings that are safe and clean and healthy and have good indoor air quality and are designed with the appropriate security and systems and HVAC and electricity and plumbing and things that we need and are up to code.
Right.
Now, the referendum failed on Tuesday. It is what it is. Now we go forward and figure out then what to do.
Right.
We can't ignore this problem much longer.
I can't keep kicking the can down the road.
And if we do, eventually it's illustrative. Your buildings will be like your track was 3 years ago.
Yep.
When it was closed.
Yep.
When there were cracks in it,
Yep.
the size of whatever that you couldn't sprint.
It was like
on.
it had potholes in it.
Right. It was destroyed. It was condemnable. There was like one lane that we could keep open for people to walk on. You were on it every day.
I walk on it every day.
Right.
And
that track was built 20 years ago.
Yep.
20 years later, it needed to be replaced.
Yep.
Town stepped up and replaced it.
Yep. Yep.
So that your buildings are older than that.
Yeah.
And roofs and air handling units and things.
Yeah.
Man, things.
Well, that's the thing. And wax on the floor only goes so far.
On paint and duct tape only goes so far.
Yeah.
And, I'll just mention one thing, that perhaps some of the most disappointing things I heard were, well, if only you had kept these buildings up, it's your fault they're falling apart, Portland maintenance crew. Shame on you for saying that.
Yeah.
Frankly, it is because of the heroic and love that the maintenance crew has put into these buildings.
Sure.
They've lasted as long as they have.
Yes.
Because wax, duct tape, and paint and elbow grease only goes so far.
Yep.
You can't blame the maintenance crew because there's a leak in the roof.
No.
The roof is old and
Yep.
needs to be replaced.
Yep.
I mean, so to say somehow that it was a failure of the people in the buildings that has caused a 100-year-old building to reach a point where it needs repair.
Right.
What planet are you on, buddy?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just say it straight out. That's offensive.
Yeah.
Now, certainly if you want to say maybe the town could have invested more throughout those 20 years in a capital improvement cycle.
Yes.
And done more proactive work on them. Okay, I'm all ears.
That's valid.
That's valid.
Yeah.
Capital budgets are one of the things that get cut often and early in processes, unfortunately, because you're making decisions about whether we can buy more air handling units and have kindergarten class sizes of 25, or have kindergarten class sizes of 18 and hold off on buying those air handling units.
Right, right.
Sometimes we are making decisions about what do our kids need and in the best interests short term. And that's what happens.
Yeah.
I don't like it, but
it is what it is.
It is what it is. And every year budgets have to get passed and people look at percent increases and what's going to impact my mill rate. And
yeah. Oh, yeah. Well,
it is what it is.
And that's the thing, especially with capital improvements and capital, funding. That's the first thing that gets cut. When you get into a situation that, you need X amount of dollars in capital improvement, and you cut that by 50% or 75%. So it comes back to bite you.
Right. So what's going to happen now, Dave? I think our next step is to process, be reflective, be thoughtful, listen to the will of the voters, consider the feedback, and some valid points were raised. Yes. What would it mean for the town if you had one fewer gyms? What exactly would be the disposition of decommissioned schools, not just recommendations?
Right.
Is $68 million a lot?
Right.
Even when it's reimbursed at 54%,
right,
56%. Excuse me. I get it. It's time for our leaders to get together and discuss, right, and repair the relationships where they may be frayed. Love each other and understand we're neighbors and we share the same town and we want generally the same things. Yeah. And then get back at it.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, I think because the referendum did go down, the improvements that going forward, I don't think you're going to have the luxury of having state reimbursement to the point that it was. You're going to be basically doing it on the town's dime, or whatever they decide to do.
That's to be determined.
Yeah.
I mean, I've learned a lot about how much things cost and what's eligible for state reimbursement and what's not. Capital projects, some would be eligible for state reimbursement.
Okay.
But when you're getting to renovations to new and additions, that's eligible for a lot more.
Sure.
An awful lot more.
Yes.
Significantly more. In our case, 56%.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I mean, I don't want to look back, but Portland was going to get a $66 million school building.
Yeah.
With all of the HVAC and security and brand new building that you wouldn't have to worry about for 20 years. Yeah. Right. At least.
Yeah.
Are going to get a $66 million building for $29 million on the taxpayer dime.
Yeah.
Plus the financing costs.
Yeah.
And we were going to be able to save $1 million a year in overhead expenses.
Sure.
To me, I thought that was going to be a slam dunk.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that people were going to say, wow, $66 million that we only spend 44% of, and we save $1 million a year by not raising class sizes, but reducing the many people needed to run multiple buildings.
Yeah.
It's like, I just thought that like, I don't understand.
That would have been a win-win, yeah.
But hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, you can tell I'm a little... I'm struggling with that logic.
Yeah.
But there were lots of other good points that were made about the length of the bond and the interest rates and what happens if enrollment grows. And, we had answers to a lot of those. Yeah. But I don't know what the interest rate is going to be next year.
Sure.
I can guess, but I don't know exactly what our enrollment's going to be next year.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's going to be next week. Who's moving into town? Right? I mean, So, sometimes... when that information was being given, it was being given in I think or I guess, but you can't know.
Right. Your crystal ball is only...
I wish I knew. Boy, I would be...
Gets cloudy sometimes.
No, hey, if I had known what was going to happen Tuesday...
Yeah.
And I could have told people?
Yeah.
Well, I mean...
Well, that's the thing, and that's democracy, and that's how it works.
That's how it works.
Yeah, that's for sure. So... everything otherwise is going well. We have
100%.
We've got coming up on the Thanksgiving holiday, so we're going to have a little bit of time off for reflection, and
look, and we got Veterans Day.
Yes,
super important day. We're going to have veterans at the high school on Friday, and then all of those ceremonies. Thank you, veterans.
On Monday.
Monday, excuse me.
Yes,
Yeah, Monday's off for
Yeah,
Veterans Day. Then Thanksgiving is coming up, and a time to be reflective and grateful for everything that we have. And
Yeah.
then the most beautiful time of the year, the holiday season is here. Hopefully, we'll get some snow and be able to do a little skiing.
Oh my
So
gosh. Yeah.
look, there's a lot out here that's good. It's not doom and gloom, everybody.
No,
We are in really be happy with where we are.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and you know, a democracy is work. Running a town is work. Running a school district, trust me, is a lot of work.
Yeah.
Teaching and learning is a lot of work. The foundation is strong.
Yep. Well, it's a team effort, and everybody contributes and makes it all happen, makes it work. That's the bottom line. So, yeah, you got to be a little bit distraught with no snow and no skiing.
I know.
My God, you
Killing.
normally.
See, to me, when people retire, Dave, lots of them go to Florida.
Yeah.
I'm going to Burlington. I go north.
Yeah.
I will retire where it is. Hey,
There you go.
Canada. I'm like I love the cold weather.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Well, it's
get me in a parka with some skis on and 10 below with a nice little wind chill.
yeah.
I don't know. To
There
me,
you go.
I'm good.
There you go. For sure. For sure. Well, I think I think even all of the ski areas up north they're all
Of course.
struggling. They're not open, are they?
No one's open yet.
Nobody's open yet.
I would know. I would have been there. Nobody's open. It's it's a very weird feast or famine kind of year. I mean, Vermont went from catastrophic flooding to now worried about brush fires in
Yes.
the course of 2 months.
Well, that's one of the things that
What's happening?
the town instituted a no open burn policy this week. Rightfully so. I mean, look at the wildfires we had. The one in Berlin there for Christ. That's been they've had to bring crews in from California. They had another one down in the Rocky Neck State Park there for a while there, and it's it's scary. You get to a point. It's so dry. You walk in the woods. You're like walking on potato chips.
Dave, the only thing that's been good about it, it's been really easy to pick up leaves this year.
Yes.
Like you put the leaf blower on it and
They're very light. There's
Yeah.
no moisture in them at all, for sure. But that's the thing. With that, the leaves can. I did my leaves twice, and an hour after I did them, you never know I did them.
oh, I know.
They just come
worst.
blowing.
The worst. And the first big gust that comes, that old oak that holds onto the leaves forever, right?
And I'm seeing. I have oaks in the back of my house, and I tell you, there's extraordinary amount of acorns.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know whether that's a
agree.
telltale sign of
Healthy ecosystem, I hope.
or rough winter or
I
whatever. My God, it would be. It's crazy.
I love New England, man. It's such a great place to live.
For sure. So anyway, all right. Anything else that you want to touch on?
Thanks for taking the time, Dave. I hope all is well.
Yeah. We're plugging away, and the thing is like I say, we got holidays coming up and getting squared away, and I'm enjoying retirement, so that's a good thing, and I'm just figuring out what day it is.
Good.
And go from there. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes this episode of the Portland Board of Education podcast with our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Charles Britton. So, until next month, that is all, and have a safe and happy Thanksgiving Day holiday. Thank you.